Hey guys, welcome to the review show. My name's Austin. Godzilla Minus One is the latest Godzilla movie from Japan. Japan is already devastated by the war when a new crisis emerges in the form of a giant monster. I don't go see a lot of subtitled movies because I feel like if I go see a subtitled movie, I'm going to fall behind and I'm not going to understand because I have a hard time reading. Like, dyslexia is a big thing for me, and I have also ADHD. So I have a hard time trying to sit down and especially focus on subtitles, trying to read it to understand what's going on the screen. And so this is basically honestly my very first subtitle movie review ever. It's kind of strange, and that I never really done this because honestly I didn't really expect to follow this movie very well. And any negative or gripes that I was going to have with this movie is going to be mostly on me. But this is a very well done movie. Like, it's just talking about the subtitles. Like, if you miss like a couple of subtitles, they do a very good way of visually telling the story through these amazing characters on screen that you understand what's going on. And that's something I would never thought I would say for a Godzilla movie, is that I actually care about these characters. The Warner Brothers like universe Godzilla movies, I never gave a shit about those fucking characters. I didn't give a shit about Margot Robbie's character. I didn't care about any of them. And so I was really fine whenever Godzilla wasn't around on the screen when we were focused on these characters because they were written well. You actually cared about what happened. You cared about, oh, please don't eat that person. Oh, don't step on that person. Because the movie does its job to actually get you invested into the characters. Like, you have like these groups of guys that sooner build up to become a team that work on this boat, and they end up being chased by Godzilla, and you're like, oh, please don't die here. Speaking of, that boat scene with Godzilla just reminds me a lot of Jaws, which isn't a bad thing. The one thing in this movie, they made Godzilla feel scary. And that's another thing that in the other Godzilla movies I've seen from WB, I never felt like Godzilla was scary. If they always try to make Godzilla feel like the protector or have a motive or a reasoning. But here, Godzilla is just a creature who is just literally just doing whatever an animal will do. Like, would just cause destruction, eat people, doesn't give a shit. That is what Godzilla does in this movie, and I fucking like that because the fucking opening scene for this movie, holy shit. And again, a lot of stuff in this movie reminds me of Jaws. And again, not a bad thing. It's just that Jaws is such a scary movie. Whenever anything water related, I always go back to Jaws. That is just me, and I compare things to Jaws, and that's just not a bad thing. Unless you try to basically do Jaws, then it's a bad thing. But this movie just does a really good job to build up the suspense, build up their characters, and have a great finale as well. This movie is visually well done. Godzilla just like looks amazing. Like, I still prefer WB's Godzilla, but this Godzilla just, it looks different, it feels different, and it feels like their own Godzilla. It doesn't feel like they're trying to do like this blockbuster Godzilla. They only know like a certain amount of people are going to go see this movie because it's subtitled. So they're not trying to make this for a wide audience. They're trying to make this for people that love movies and love Godzilla. And so they really nailed it on this one. And I really didn't think I was gonna like this movie because of my experience with the other Godzilla movies. I'm so glad there isn't a fucking scene where a guy goes, drink? A drink! And takes someone's fucking alcohol and pours it all over the fucking keyboard to make Mega Godzilla malfunction. I'm glad there wasn't a scene like that. And but there is a couple little like misdirecting that I felt like there was a little off. It came to one person like pushing someone out of the way, and it's like, wait, why'd you push that person? Why'd you not dive with that person? Or way that Godzilla sometimes looks when he moves, and I get that they try to make Godzilla look like he is this big thing, and so he has a little hard time moving. I understand that point, but he looks a little bit too stiff, like he is a little like model that they made and they digitally put in and that they upscaled. And so It looked like sort of like stop motion-ish, which is fine, but for a live action movie, it doesn't really work too well. But there's only a couple of scenes where it just looks off, and Godzilla kind of also just accepts certain scenes of like, yeah, take me out, I don't care. It kind of sort of accepts certain stuff, but overall, I really did like the film, and I never really thought I would say that at all. One sort of also another gripe is that the movie kind of just ends with a nice bow at the end. It's like it's too perfect, like too perfect of a happy ending, and I wish they went with a little bit more of a dark type of ending with a certain character, and I wish they didn't like overdone it. I'm gonna give Godzilla -1 a B+. Go check it out. Like I said, it's a ton of fun, and it's everything that you would want in a Godzilla movie or any type of monster movie. But yeah, anyway guys, I will see you guys in the next review. Bye guys.